When I was on that stage press conference, I kind of got emotional a little bit, like, wow, I'm back here again where I started, and just how Stephanie White was speaking so highly of me. Like, I'm like, this is where I need to be at, and this is where I belong, and I'm just so happy to be able to come back and handle some unfinished business.
It seems like you're referring to a quote about the Indiana Fever, possibly related to Sheryl Swoopes. Here's a refined version of your sentence in English. Nobody wants to play with the Indiana Fever. Do you remember when Sheryl Swoopes said that?
Just really excited to also play with Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, like the player that, that I also say stuff on the court to them when I'm like playing against them. But I'm happy that I'm playing with them, not against them no more.
Well, Natasha Howard just made her look absolutely ridiculous by not only choosing to join the Indiana Fever but also passionately defending Caitlin Clark and the team against all the haters.
Yo, what's up, fans? I'm happy to be a Fever. You see me? You see me? You see me? You see me with this on? Yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back where I started. Let's go.
We're not talking about just any player here. We're talking about a 3-time WNBA champion, former Defensive Player of the Year, and one of only a handful of players in the entire league who averaged 18 points and 7 rebounds last season. So, why would an elite star like...
What kind of things do you feel?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay, okay. But this,
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay.
It's a turn. Right? It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well,
right?
Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right? Everybody saw it.
Remember back in April when the haters couldn't wait to tear down Caitlin Clark? Sheryl Swoopes led the charge with that infamous quote, claiming nobody would want to play with Clark in Indiana. Well, that narrative just got completely shattered, and the basketball world is still reeling from the impact.
3 WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.
4 months. Critics like Swoopes pushed the idea that established WNBA stars would actively avoid the Fever. They painted a picture that veterans would run from Indiana because they didn't want to deal with the Caitlin Clark circus, the media attention, the spotlight, the packed arenas. It became the go-to talking point for anyone looking to diminish Clark's impact on the league.
This is a tremendous, not only a tremendous player, but a tremendous person. And what she's done the last 9 years in her career has put her in the elite company of many athletes and many players in this league. So, I want to say thank you to Natasha and to her family for coming back to us. Because when a player returns to a place that drafted them, that's special. And she chose us because she could have gone anywhere.
But then something happened that those critics never saw coming. Natasha Howard, a 3-time WNBA champion, former Defensive Player of the Year, and one of the league's most respected veterans, didn't just sign with Indiana. She chose to return to the very team that drafted her back in 2014 with the 5th overall pick, the same organization where she began.
At the end of the day, the way Indiana came at me with everything they promised me and they keeping their promise, they sold me. And I took the bait for it, and I'm happy to be back where I started and also being back with Coach. And Kelly and also Amber as well, bringing her along. It's just a blessing to be back where I started, and also for my family and friends to also see me back where I started at as well. It's just amazing and a grateful feeling to be back in a Indiana Fever jersey.
This wasn't just any signing. This was a statement that tore the Indiana is toxic narrative to shreds. Howard didn't hide her excitement about...
That's a good one right there.
I'll be back like
Number 33, the original. Back at it.
Oh, jersey.
Look, the original.
Right, we was with Adidas.
Look at that.
2014, y'all.
2014, right there.
What makes this even more powerful is that Howard wasn't pushed to Indiana or settling for the Fever as a last resort. She had options, plenty of them.
Coach Steph is always being on my butt about hustling, working hard. Do the little things, because the little things going to take you a long way. And when I got the minutes that I played my rookie year, I took every advantage of it. And I'm happy to be back next to her, playing with her and her coaching me.
The emotional weight of this homecoming was on full display during Howard's signing when she was presented with her original Fever jersey from 2014. It wasn't just a contract signing, it was a full-circle moment that visibly moved Howard, connecting her past to what could be an incredible future with this revitalized Indiana team.
We have the talent, but first of all, we have the people to actually do it. So my thing is, like, I'm happy, like I said, to be a part of this, and also bring the leadership and the desire to, you know, to show this young group what it takes to win a championship. I have 3, so my thing is, like, to show them you can't take no days off in practice. You got to think, when you practice, it's the way how you play. So my thing is, like, coming in, I'm just going to show them, like, this is how you work hard. So when you work hard, it's going to be easy in the game. It won't be as hard. So my thing is just bringing that championship mentality to the locker room and to this team.
And Howard wasn't some afterthought in the Fever's off-season plans. As Kelly Krauskopf, the Fever's general manager, revealed, when Amber and I started talking from the beginning, the person sitting next to me is high-end, full of integrity, high class, and a great teammate. Howard was their top target from day one, a player.
The list of accomplishments are long. People say you should have a one-page resume. Natasha cannot have that. It is several pages. 3-time champion, 2-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player. I mean, again, the list goes on and on and on.
The Fever's COO, Amber Cox, couldn't even contain her enthusiasm when introducing Howard, noting, "People say you should have a one-page resume. Natasha cannot have that. It's several pages long." The list goes on and on. That's the caliber of player who just chose to play with Caitlin Clark in Indiana.
I think it was day one when I got this job. Kelly and I were on the phone, and we had 2 things on our to-do list: re-sign Kelsey Mitchell and bring back Natasha Howard. We have been focused on this day and this moment since the day we started this process.
But what truly makes this signing special, what completely dismantles the Swoops L narrative, are Howard's own powerful words about why she returned. Far from avoiding the Fever, Howard expressed profound gratitude, stating, "I'm just really, really honored and blessed to see a team that appreciates."
The person that's sitting next to me is of high integrity, high class, great teammate. Players in this league love her. So welcoming her back, putting her on the floor with our guards, there's a reason why her nickname is Flash.
She even reflected on her growth since her first stint with Indiana, saying, "I just feel like I've grown a lot as a person and as a player. I feel like a lot of teams didn't really appreciate me the way they should." This wasn't just a basketball decision, it was personal. It was about finding a home where her talents and contributions would be valued.
A 10-point lead now for Mersin. And it's stolen away. Howard leading the charge, hands it away, gets it back. Oh, a one-handed. Oh, 2. A little bit of showboating for Mersin. Gotta love that.
Howard didn't just find a team that appreciates her. She found the perfect basketball soulmate in Caitlin Clark. This isn't just any partnership. We're talking about pairing a player nicknamed Flash with perhaps the most creative distributor in the game today. Howard's elite transition scoring ability creates exactly the type of target Clark has been missing in Indiana. While critics were busy claiming nobody wanted to play with Clark, these two were quietly forming what could become one of the most lethal.
Last season, with a minimum of 25 games played, Natasha Howard was one of just 13 players to average 18 points per game. She was one of 16 players to average 7 rebounds per game. And the list of players to average both 18 and 7 last year, short and elite. Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, Brittany Griner, and yes, Natasha Howard. Versatility is a major calling card for Howard.
Let's break down what makes this combination so special. Howard is a transition scoring machine. Her ability to sprint down the court at full speed, maintain body control, and finish at the rim is exactly what the doctor ordered for a passer with Clark's vision. Last season, Howard was in rarefied air as one of just a handful of players averaging over 18 points per game while simultaneously pulling down 7 rebounds per contest. That kind of efficiency isn't just good, it's elite.
All of that, and we haven't yet touched upon what Howard does best: defend. Howard was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 and has finished in the top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 times in her career. Howard has averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game in each of her last 7 seasons. And that versatility is really what makes her a weapon on defense.
The Fever struggled last season with a roster that couldn't fully capitalize on Clark's otherworldly passing ability. Too often, potential assists were squandered by teammates who couldn't keep pace or finish in traffic. Enter Howard, who has built her career on being exactly that kind of finisher. In her introductory press conference, Howard couldn't contain her excitement about this perfect basketball marriage, specifically stating, "I can't wait to run the floor and get those passes," a clear acknowledgement of how she...
That wingspan and 6'2" height allows her to be disruptive defensively around the rim on opposing bigs too. In fact, Howard will enter the 2025 season 25th all-time in blocks in WNBA history.
But Howard brings so much more than just defensive firepower. The Fever ranked near the bottom of the league defensively last season, and Howard's arrival immediately addresses that weakness. With a near 7-foot wingspan, she's a defensive nightmare for opponents, capable of guarding multiple positions effectively. The numbers tell the story. Howard has averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game for 7 consecutive seasons. That kind of defensive...
It's going to be Caitlin Clark Flash Show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court, because that's like as soon as she gets the ball in her hand, she's throwing it up because she already see the person down the court before she even get the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists that she needs.
Think about what this means for Indiana's young roster. When Howard slides over to help defend the rim, it gives perimeter defenders more confidence to pressure ball handlers. When she jumps a passing lane with those long arms, it creates transition opportunities in the opposite direction, right into the hands of the game's premier outlet passer, Clark. And when Howard calls out defensive rotations with her championship test...
Caitlin in particular, what do you see from her game during her rookie year, and just what's an excitement level playing with someone like that who has just changed the whole landscape?
She can spread the floor by shooting. She could dictate the floor as a point guard. She's an amazing passer, so I can't wait to run the floor and get those passes. Like she just grown just this past season, just like how she take the game day by day and also just learning from other players and stuff. So I'm just really excited to be a part of this team and also ready to catch her passes.
The nickname Flash wasn't given to Howard by accident. Her quick-twitch movements and ability to appear seemingly out of nowhere to make plays are precisely what the Fever lacked. Clark's pinpoint passing accuracy is wasted if receivers can't create separation or find open spaces. Howard excels at both, using her speed and basketball IQ to consistently put herself in advantageous positions.
Just playing with my teammates, just getting to know my teammates on and off the court. Because that's one thing I actually want to know is my teammates first, and then know them on the court as well.
Imagine the nightmares opposing coaches will have game planning for this duo. Focus too much attention on stopping Clark's passing, and Howard will feast on one-on-one matchups inside. Pay too much attention to Howard rolling to the rim, and Clark will find shooters spotting up on the perimeter. It's a pick-your-poison scenario that could elevate both players' games to even greater heights. That pick-your-poison duo is just the beginning of Indiana's transformation. When Cheryl Swoops boldly proclaimed,